Have you ever wondered whether you should donate internationally? And how much impact can you make by donating internationally? And maybe the other question is, how do you know you can trust a charity or non-profit that is international? So in this video, I'm going to show you the answer to these questions, and I will also have some recommendations of what non-profits that are trusted and accountable and also sustainable, especially those non-profits in Indonesia. Assalamualaikum, I'm Hedi Rawan. I'm a social entrepreneur from Indonesia. I love to help people to make good social impact in the communities that they care about. And I specifically advocate for responsible giving. Before we continue, if you like this video, please like and also subscribe to my channel, because I will share you tips on responsible giving. And because I would love to be your friend in your journey to make a good social impact to the causes that you care about. I'd like to begin by sharing the good news that the global nonprofit sector has done a tremendous progress in the past tens of years, in making social impact in the world. So, for example, just 20 years ago, 30% of the world's population is living in poverty under $2 per day. But now, that number has been reduced so that around 10% of the world's population is living under poverty. So that's a really good progress, but 10% is still a huge number. I mean, 10% of the world's population is about 700 million people. So we still have work to do. And the fact is that most of these people who are living in poor conditions are living in poor countries or developing countries. So they don't really have access to good food, they don't have access to good water or sanitation or drinking water, they don't really have good access to good medical facilities or hospitals, and that is a very, very big problem, because that means their circumstances make them much more easily vulnerable to risks such as diseases. For example, malaria, which since more than 70 years ago has been eradicated in the United States, malaria in developing countries still kills about 1,200 people per day. So that is a very, very big problem that is still going on in these poor or developing countries. But I'm here not just to tell you about the bad news. So there is a good news. You are here, you are part of the good news, is that now giving donations internationally is much more easier than ever. There are many nonprofits around the world which are able to receive donations from anywhere. And I will show you how these donations to international charities or nonprofits can have more impact and can be more effective than the similar amount of donations in wealthy countries. So that's why you may consider to focus the majority of your donations internationally. Okay, so I will deep dive into what are these reasons. The first reason is that you can make an impact to those who need it most. In developing countries such as Indonesia, people don't always have access to the latest facilities, the modern facilities, education, medical facilities, even sanitation and water, than in wealthy countries. So that is why for poor people, if they are living in a wealthy country, it is possible that they still can get good enough medical facility to treat or to help them. However, in developing countries, this is usually not the case. So there are even remote areas where they have to go kilometers far away to a bigger city just to get a good medical facility that we usually take for granted. So this goes true not only for medical facility, but also sometimes basic necessities like water, safe drinking water, and clean sanitation, and also education. So that is why by giving internationally, your help can make an impact to those who need it most. The second reason is because you can help people in a more effective way. The reason is because the living standard in developing countries is usually much lower than those in wealthy countries. And that also applies to the goods and services that people in developing countries purchase. So if you think about it, what does $100 buy you in a wealthy country, especially related to medicine? It's probably not enough to give you a basic level of medical treatment. However, in developing countries, $100 can help to provide medical facility to the people in need. And this also applies to education, this also applies to sanitation, water, food, and other necessities that are generally cheaper and more effective to purchase than the same goods or services in wealthy countries. The third reason is that you can be confident and responsible by giving to accountable and effective nonprofits. So there are many nonprofits in the world right now, and they are all competing for the donors' money. However, we have to admit the fact that a lot of these nonprofits, they are not making the impact that we want, and even sometimes some of these nonprofits or charities, they are misusing the funds that the donors have entrusted them. But do not worry about it, because you can choose the charities and nonprofits who are accountable, who are doing it in an effective way, and who are doing it in a sustainable way. So in this video, I will show you examples of my personal recommendations of these nonprofits, especially in Indonesia, who are doing the work in an effective way, given the funds that the donors provide to them. And they are also accountable. You can see the reports, you can see the activities that they do directly in the field, and they are also doing it in a sustainable way, meaning that the donation that you give to these charities are not stopped right there and sometimes even make the problem worse. But these charities work for the long term and make the communities that they are helping be able to grow and be stronger and sustain the solution of their problems for a longer term. So the conclusion is that giving internationally is more effective. It can help more of the people that need your help most, and the donation is also given to charities that are accountable and also effective in their work. But maybe you are still wondering, okay, should I give all of the donations to international nonprofits? I'm not saying that you should give all of your donations to international nonprofits, but I think you should consider is increase the proportion of your giving to international nonprofits as well. And hopefully that is a majority part of your donation that you do regularly. So I will show you some of the examples and recommendations from myself of the nonprofits in Indonesia that fits that description. Okay, now that you want to give internationally, so there are many developing countries in the world that you can give your donation to. Now I want to tell you about this developing country, Indonesia, that I know about because I am an Indonesian and I also live in Indonesia, and why you should donate to nonprofits in Indonesia. So Indonesia has a population of about 273 million people. And Indonesia has a bonus demographic in that about 26% of Indonesian people are children. So that means 71 million children in Indonesia. However, the children in Indonesia suffer from lots of problems. They suffer from widespread poverty. There is also political instability, and Indonesian children also has one of the highest numbers of stunted children growth due to malnutrition in Asia. So many problems that Indonesian children face, and you can see some of the other problems here. There are also problems of child labor. So that is a reason why you should consider to donate to make social impact to the children in Indonesia. So the nonprofit that I would recommend if you want to help children in Indonesia is YCAF Foundation. Why? What I think is brilliant about YCAF Foundation is that they not only just give education to children, but they empower their parents. They empower especially their mothers to give financial support to teach them how to work and give them microfinance, and that with the condition that their children stays at school and that their children can continue education. So I would say that's a really great and sustainable way to do it.
20 tahun perjalanan Yayasan Cinta Anak Bangsa atau yang lebih dikenal dengan YCAF Foundation mempersembahkan dampak sosial untuk Indonesia. YCAF merupakan simbol cinta kami untuk membuat generasi muda Indonesia menjadi lebih mandiri dalam menggapai cita-citanya. Kami adalah social enterprise di mana memiliki unit usaha yang membantu kelangsungan dari program-program yayasan.
YCAF Foundation is founded by Veronica Klonda, who is the wife of a successful billionaire in Indonesia. But if you look at the history of the organization, you can see that she cares really deeply about how to empower the mothers and the families and to ensure the education of the children that is most in need in Indonesia. So if you want to know more about YCAF Foundation, just click on the website link below in the description. They provide you with all details about their activities, their programs, the social impact that they have made, and hopefully you also want to donate to their nonprofit. The next one, what if you want to build schools in Indonesia? So the nonprofit that I want to tell you is Dunia Anak Alam Foundation. This foundation is created by two good people that I also know personally, who is Baik Dewi and Listriana Suherman. So it all started when there is a pandemic of COVID-19 in Indonesia, and the children, the girls in Baik's village in Sumbawa is getting impacted. Okay, so Baik wants to give them education, wants to teach them and ensure they get a good education. When Listriana Suherman joined, the scope of the education not only encompasses the basic education that children get in school, but also knowledge and skills, how to live together with nature, and especially using permaculture. So that is what they want to teach to the children in order to live in harmony with nature and have a responsibility to take care of Earth. Now, the activities that they have been doing has been growing a lot, and now there are 80 children that are studying in this Dunia Anak Alam Foundation School. So if you are interested about it, you can visit their website, and then hopefully if you like it, then you can donate to the cause. The next big problem that Indonesia is facing is emergency relief. So currently Indonesia is facing the most severe COVID-19 outbreak in Asia. There are people dying and suffering every day, and currently the medical system in Indonesia is really overwhelmed. So if you care about this, then you can donate to ACT Indonesia or Aksi Cepat Tanggap, and also you can donate to Rumah Zakat. Your donation will be useful to get the medical supplies and oxygen to the people in need, and also because this COVID-19 and especially the lockdowns are making a lot of people unable to work, your donation will also help these people who are in poverty to be able to survive during the pandemic, and hopefully also to empower them so they can be more independent during the pandemic and after that. If you are interested in this and you care about this, you can check out the website of ACT Indonesia or Rumah Zakat and see if you like their approach to solving this problem. Other than the COVID-19 pandemic, ACT Indonesia and Rumah Zakat are also good foundations for giving emergency relief, such as floods, earthquakes, tsunamis that they happen quite often in Indonesia. So these people in affected areas not only need help right after disaster during emergency response, but they also need help during the recovery phase. Okay, for example, in Sulawesi Barat and Kalimantan Selatan, that they have been struck by a big earthquake. So in order for them to recover, they need access to good clean water and sanitation. So these are some of the things that you can help these communities, these villages, by donating to ACT Indonesia or Rumah Zakat Foundation. So I hope the information that I have shared with you is useful for you. And in conclusion, there are several reasons why you should donate internationally, and especially to Indonesia. You will be able to make a difference to the people who need it most, and your donation can be used more effectively in developing countries, and you can be confident that you are doing responsible giving by giving to a charity that can utilize your donation in the most effective way to the people in need, and also that you can make a more impact. Even if you do not donate all of your donation funds to international, you can start by increasing the amount of your donation to internationally. So I hope that helps you with your research, and Indonesia is one of the developing countries that you can consider for your donation. A lot of Indonesian children have stunting issues due to malnutrition and also lack of health facility. Some of the children also have issues with child labor, and these are all the problems that Indonesian children have, and that you can be a part of the solution. So whichever non-profit or charity that you decide to donate in, my recommendation is please make sure that the charity is effective in what they do, and also that the non-profit is accountable and that they give you the proper reports and that they fulfill all the regulations that are needed. Again, it's much easier now to donate internationally, and you can start now by increasing the proportion of your donation to international causes. If you have any questions or you'd like to suggest a topic that I will cover next, please let me know in the comments. And also, if you think this video is useful, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. So happy responsible giving. I'm Hedi Irawan. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.